At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anthony Sier. A pleasant welcome to Focus on Liberia. Today is another day of our programs here. Today's program is on the topic, Day 3 of the Boakai Presidency. Joseph Boakai got inaugurated. Today is Day 3, and I believe he has started some work already, putting his government together. So to do all this, we'll be looking at a few things. We want to look at what was achieved or done today on Day 3 of the Boakai Presidency. Also, we will be looking at, the new appointments made today. We want to know why the new appointees are bringing to the table of governance. Also, we don't want to forget about the alleged misappropriation of district inaugural celebration funds. There is a serious allegation, and the Unity Party official has released a press statement denying any wrongdoing or misappropriating the funds. We have the facts here, and we have 3 outstanding gentlemen seated. We should be having a lady joining us to have this discussion. But before we go to that, Joseph Boakai made a major pronouncement or a promise to the world that he will govern differently. And to do so, one thing he would do before taking office would be to declare his asset and probably make it public. Today, according to my countdown here, bear with me, let me look at my countdown because I want to be accurate as I can be, because Ali is here to hold me accountable. Today is Day 2, or 2 days, 13 hours, 24 minutes, and 18 seconds since Joseph Boakai got inaugurated, and he's yet to declare his asset. We want him to honor his promise. That is why we are doing this. Now, let me give you a little perspective here. It is about accountability. It's not about Boakai. It is about transparency. It is about setting the right tone for the country so that those he appoints will follow him and know that he's ready for business and he's serious about accountability and transparency. Already, the U.S. delegation that came to his inauguration said, Mr. Boakai, we're going to help you fight corruption. And here is Boakai, probably the king because he made that promise that he would declare his asset, and he's yet to do so. Ali might not be happy with me, but this is what I do. It is about accountability. Next door in Sierra Leone, they have been doing well. The owner of LACC has been going after a corrupt official. Let me give you some numbers here. February 4, 2021, Sierra Leone Anti-Corruption Commission recovered 8 billion leon from corrupt officials. In August 11 of 2023, it recovered 10 billion loan from corrupt officials. Also, in February, that is 2019, 7.5 million leon was recovered from corrupt officials. In June of 2019, June 27, they recovered 7.5 billion leon from corrupt officials. If you pull the total together, it's about 33 billion leon recovered from corrupt officials by Sierra Leone Anti-Corruption Commission. The president of that nation consistently declared his assets, and the Anti-Corruption Commission is doing a better job. What is the dividend of that? At some point, Sierra Leone netted over $400 million in grant from the World Bank. Boakai pronounced the right tone, but he's defaulting on it, and this is why we thought to bring this. So as we speak, Boakai is yet to declare his asset and make it public. That is Jeremiah Cohn and Joseph Yuman Boakai. They have not done so. Gentlemen, we're not going to waste time on this. We just wanted to remind our people that is day 2 and we're counting, and Boakai is yet to declare his asset. This is a major promise that he has broken. Let me start with you, Aliyu. You are good at defense. What have you to say, my friend?
Yeah, I don't know where to start. It's just too many stuff to unpack. I mean, but please point the questions, answer it.
I asked you a question.
What was the question?
Make of Boakai failure. Is this a major promise broken that kind of like rob him of the moral standing here when it comes to transparency?
You should guide your ways with wrongfully using words. What does the word failure mean?
Failure means that he has not done. He promised that he would do it before he
did not say that.
Inaugurated. That's why he said.
He did not say that.
He said
he
that.
will. He said, starting with him, he would declare his asset. That's what he said.
Yeah, that it will be done before inauguration.
No, he did not say that.
He said that.
Now let me answer your question. He clearly did not say that. No time.
He clearly said that. He said that in the interview. Don't waste our time.
At no time did he give any date or time. He said, I will, starting with me, declare my asset.
And what does the law say?
He didn't tell you before or after. But let me answer your question.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Boakai is the violator of the law and he intentionally decided that I will violate the law by not declaring my assets?
Can we intervene this? I mean, since we're doing back and forth to each other, I mean, it's going to
go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Boakai has been sworn in. He has not taken office. He still doesn't have a government. He has not moved into the mansion to go see the one-day work. Has not received anybody anything.
Did I hear you say Boakai has not taken office, Dr. Du?
Yes, he has not, because he has not formed a government yet. He just formed his foreign service, I mean his national security.
When a president is sworn in office, what does that mean?
So no, I don't think we should go too much into this. Everybody knows Boakai was inaugurated 2 days ago. He has not done a full day work at a mansion as a government official. As a president, he's still forming his team. Give him time to do that, and then if they go, the day he goes sit in a mansion, receiving people, talking to people, or doing whatever it is, then you can say, Mr. President, you are now fully in function. What have you declared your assets? But now I think it's just trying to blame him. Yeah, trying to blame somebody.
Is he in violation or not?
No, it's not violation. He has not done anything yet. He has not done any. He has not performed any government function except being inaugurated and nominating people. And those people are
you aware of Section 10.1 of the Code of Conduct Law that said all officials must declare their assets prior to taking office? Are you aware of that law?
Was this supposed to declare before the swearing in? Like you say, okay, we're not going to swear in until we know what you have in your account.
You are saying something.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, I would say for this discussion to really have meaning, we should just say, okay, Boakai probably need to do this as soon as possible, and then it should be done before what. I don't think if he doesn't do it in a month, then you say, okay, what's going on?
Well, Dr. Do, you think who is making this difficult? Me or Mr. Boakai, who made the promise and broke?
No, you got nothing to do with it. I mean, you're just talking. You're making your point. It's not Boakai. It's not Boakai has his own priorities today, and I don't think his priority number one is declare his assets. His priority number one is to make sure he's healthy. Number two, to make sure that he appoints the proper people to the proper jobs, and then number three, he goes to sit in the office and say, okay, what is my first function? My first job would be to go declare my assets. And then I'll come back to the office and start functioning. Thank you. Somebody who got inaugurated 2 days ago and even had a major health crisis, and then 2 days later you say, oh, you're breaking the law. I say, come on, you kind of push it too hard. No. I mean, we want to be legalistic. No, I want to be legalistic too. I'm saying what's the section of the government, the law that says it has to be done before it takes office. You said 10, right?
To use Section 10.1.
But the speaker, 1 minute. The Speaker of the House is a lawyer. The Speaker was the one that saw him in. Does that mean that the Speaker doesn't know the law? Why would he allow him to take office?
The Speaker knows the law, but the Speaker too broke the law. The Speaker is also in violation of the law.
Okay, I think Mr. Gibson waiting. Asking a question.
No, Ali, I want you to answer. Did Boakai?
Yeah, I think we're facing something that we can't resolve.
Boakai has not even done anything in order to break promise. He's not done anything yet in order to even break promise. Yes, he's been sworn in. Yeah, he is the president. So whatever part of Liberia he is, he's occupying the presidency. We gave you that. But what I am telling you is there's no stipulation. If there was one, the House of Legislature would have requested that. Okay, we have series of lawyers in our house. The reason why it wasn't an issue, never brought up by the Senate, never brought up by the House of Representatives, was because it is not binding by law that it be done prior to him being president. So he has not broken any laws, to answer your question.
So, Ali, you are wrong. Mr. Boakai broke the law. All the lawmakers broke the law. They are all violators of the law. Let me come to you, Mr. Gibson. It's time for Mr. Gibson, please. Mr. Gibson, welcome to Focus on Liberia. It's good to have you here. This is your first time. We want to show you our ceremonial color here. How you doing, by the way, sir?
I'm doing well. Hope you are as
well. All right. Sorry, I don't take prisoners here. I am about accountability and holding folks accountable. Liberians for far too long, when they support somebody, they make excuses, they justify for the person, and that is unfortunate. And I will never take it as long as I'm here when it comes to national discussion. Welcome, my good friend. So, Mr. Boakai, you heard them there. What is your take on this subject?
Yeah, I believe when it comes to what's been out there, as you stated earlier about the VOA interview, if he indeed stated that he was going to make sure that he declared his assets, that would have been something he needed to have done, having preparation by making sure he set aside the time to do that before assuming the seat of presidency. I think in order to lead differently, if you're talking about not wanting to squander opportunities and trying to lead differently by rescuing the nation, quote unquote, the mantra of rescuing, right? You're talking about coming in after having 40 plus years of experience in public service and doing things differently from your counterparts. You have to have a different mindset, right? I think when we come down to how the political space is right now, you have the UP, the seditions, They did the same thing with We Are, where they made countless excuses for him. And UP, they're following that in those footsteps. Sycophancy cannot lead the charge of the day. And when you're talking about somebody who said they were going to rescue the country, you have youth who they're looking up to these people to lead differently, to show them differently, because you want to, the whole mantra of you have to sit on old mat to plot new mat, right? So when you talk about all these things, where is the change coming in? Are we going to continue to make excuses? Yes, you know, is his second day in office, right? But at the end of the day, if he was somebody who was serious about wanting to lead differently and not squander during the first 2 days of your presidency, you will have things moving, things already in play. Have your appointments with the anti-graft institutions already lined up to where you're not thinking who's going to be the finance minister, who's going to be the commissioner for the General Auditing Commission. All these things should have been lined up. And also saying, before any of these things take place, I want to go ahead and finish what I stated in that VOA interview by officially declaring my assets before I assumed the seat of the presidency and putting out a statement. I think that would have made a whole lot more sense in terms of you saying you're here to rescue a country and lead differently and bring this 40+ year of experience to the table. You have to do things differently to get stuff done. And I think he missed the mark with that one.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kamara, let me come to you. Let's get to something that you want to talk about. I'm sure the asset declaration thing, you are flat on it.
Yeah, I got time for the politics.
Today marked day 3 of the Boakai administration. And what do you know was done today? What was achieved today that you know of, you are willing to share?
Well, a lot of things were achieved today. Tons of things were achieved today. But what was in the public glare was the 7 appointments that were made by the president. Mm-hmm. And bravo to him. He did wonderful. But we know that a lot of behind-the-scenes work is going on. And Boakai has won most of his people, especially those who will be occupying government positions, to now run his government on social media. People who are given the authority to speak on behalf of the government are going to be the ones doing so. So, Anthony, you will not hear a lot of noises like you did during the CDC administration, where even a chief of staff can just make statements and all of that. That is not the kind of government we have right now. So, but yeah, a whole lot of stuff going behind the scene, and you will get to know it when it's necessary.
Is it a secret society?
I did not say that. I did not say that.
This is public service. So, Ali, what I know is when a president starts work, he should have the press secretary right away that will inform people. All right. I mean, this is day 3. We should have heard from the president. Hold on, Ali. Hold on. I will give you some time. Day 3 now. We should have heard from the president at least in an official capacity. He doesn't even have a press secretary yet. And you are saying a lot of things being done behind the scene. So on the website, the e-Machine website, there's a group that met Mr. Boakai today and presented to him firefighters' garments. That's what they gave him today. And they actually gave him those things at his house. That's one of the things I know that was done, because it's on the public website for us to see, and the appointments you talk about. So these are the only 2 we know. Why are they hiding any other thing that was achieved?
Well, a lot of things are being done. Again, like I said, well, you need to understand this, and I know you know government. And the way the Liberian government is structured is that once you become president, you make appointments. Those appointments pending confirmation, they are not government officials. Okay? If you say because it's public office, why do we have right now Ministry of Information? Why do we have public affairs offices of these different agencies and ministries? It's because the issue of communication is channeled through a department. And until those things are put into perspective and the team realize and find out this is the appropriate person to represent this government, for now, we are in a formative stage, and that is our focus.
But you came on rescue mission, though. You came to rescue somebody, you got there, this person is in distress.
There are several ways to kill a cat, Anthony.
And
several
now
ways to get a cat.
now you are getting
Maybe
ready
we'll have a different way of rescuing. Every leader has his own style. My manager just got replaced by another manager who was working under him. And trust me, my entire department has changed to a whole different style. People have different ways they manage.
Ali, don't forget, this is a rescue mission. Rescue operation is different.
That's what I'm saying. Be patient. Some people are meticulous, and that is why when they strike at the right angle. Some people are very aggressive. They operate based on their emotion. Let me tell you this again, but I haven't said this before. Emotional intelligence is something you have to exhibit. Do not act based upon your feeling. Be meticulous. Calculate the density, as we used to say in high school, before you act.
Thank you. Dr. Duke, the issue of the press secretary, you know more than I do. I don't think they go for confirmation hearing. Is that correct, sir?
They don't go for confirmation, but they are appointed by the Minister of State, Chief of Staff. So as long as those people have not been confirmed, you don't have a cabinet.
So the president does not do the appointment of the president does not do the appointment of presidential press secretaries? No,
if the president appoints you, have to go for confirmation. The president green letter takes you for confirmation. He can appoint you or she can appoint you, but usually the Minister of State comes in and set up the whole staff. That includes the press office, director of communication, and all of that. But as long as that has not happened, the campaign team will carry on until that happens. That's what I know from government in reality, but the theory is probably different. But in reality, you can, the Minister of State put a team together, the 2-3 deputy ministers, and then the 4 or 5 assistant ministers, and then among them you have the press secretary.
I just tried to explain that to him.
And then you have the director of communication.
Mr. Gibson, do you have any knowledge whether or not the press secretary should go for confirmation or not? My knowledge is that they don't go for
don't go for confirmation. They don't. That's what I said. They don't go for confirmation, but they are appointed as part of the internal staff of the Ministry of State.
Yeah, so from the documents that I've been seeing where as far as the appointments have gone today, and I believe the first batch, there was a gentleman by the last name was Snetter that was signing it. So, and he had position of press secretary. So I don't know if that's the official post or it's still like Mr. Dukale said, or Dr. Dukale said of him being from the campaign side of things. So I'm not sure, but he's serving in some capacity as a press secretary.
He has been more like a personal secretary to Kennedy Boakai.
Yeah, personal stuff.
Yeah, so he has not been appointed yet. So Tevina, we want to say welcome to Focus on Liberia. How you doing?
She's frozen. She's frozen. You see, Anthony, you make people freeze when they come on your show.
Go to the next person until she can come,
Tevina, can we hear you now?
I think she got to turn off and come back on.
Yeah, Tevina, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. So my knowledge is that presidential press secretary don't go for confirmation.
Yeah, but I know.
I think it's best for the president to nominate those individuals right away, because as the president starts work, he needs to be informing the public.
They have to do that in concurrence with the Minister of State. With the Minister of State.
When the
Minister of State have not yet recommended to the president. You can't just get and make a point. This is serious government we're having. So this is not Joe Weah government. This is serious government we're having. Even the appointment that Joe Boakai is making, he's making this appointment in consultation with the political party. He didn't just make an appointment.
And you are there to know that.
I'm telling you that.
All right.
That's so as far as the document goes, right, that they just signed, if y'all can help me understand, because I see his signature signed, Charles Snetter, Office of the President. So is he still serving the capacity of the campaign, or is he officially just declaring that I work in the Office of the President as the press secretary?
That's Brilliant question. And Anthony, you're supposed to pick up on that question. If you had asked that question, me and Prof. Duke both of us would have gotten choked a little bit. But let me tell you what's happening. Right, I would just be honest with you and say that is Joseph Boakai's confidant, Charles Snyder, that's his confidant, and he is prospectively going to occupy that position regardless. But until it is done through the Ministry of State, when the Minister of State becomes confirmed, right now, well, as far as the president is concerned, he's just the press secretary for now.
So he's not appointed. Dr. Du was talking about he has to be done in
not appointed.
May I learn?
You saw the list of people who were appointed, and you were not there.
So now he's acting, even though he's not being appointed.
He is acting, but is
that legal? Okay. Is that legal? Because he's signing stuff. In what capacity is he signing stuff right now?
He's signing as mandated by the President of the Republic. The president can ask anybody, even a cat or a dog, to sign a document. It doesn't make any difference. So that Anthony, I think we are looking at, first we want to look at information. You brought us to talk about appointees and all of those issues. But now we're putting her in four, trying to split her in four. Is this guy appointed? He's been with Boakai for 6-7 years. Everywhere you go, Boakai, he takes all the pictures, make all the arrangement. He signed a paper for Boakai. Boakai is the one who he said the letterhead said office to the president. And now you say the guy appointed or no, is it legally or not? I'm just saying, come on, you're trying to, okay, we're wasting our time because we don't have it.
Because you don't have the right answers.
Yeah, I don't have the answer. You don't have the answer either.
Dr. Du.
No, let me bring you back.
Boakai is running a government as we speak. That is the law.
Yeah, he's running.
Correct?
He's
running the government.
He's running an administration that has not been yet populated. So far, the Boakai government has 2 people, Boakai and Kun. The rest are just hanging, waiting for confirmation, except those who don't need confirmation.
Okay.
But then, you wanted to have information, what Boakai is doing. Somebody signed the information and you say, oh, who that guy? What does he do? Who is he? Look at the letterhead and look at the name.
From one side to another side.
The president said it.
That's my job to ask questions.
No, it's your job to ask questions that makes sense to anybody, right? This question doesn't make sense to me. No, it does not make sense to me.
That makes sense of it.
No, it doesn't. I can make sense of what you say if it doesn't make sense.
Let's get the person.
Yes, the person who is playing the role of a government official, but yet there is no information whether or not that person has been appointed to that position. And you think,
how do you refer to Charles Snyder right now? Let me ask you. How would you refer to Charles Snyder right now? The Secretary of State.
I don't know how to refer to him.
The press secretary of the president. Will you respond to him as that?
No.
I mean, will you refer to him as that? No.
No.
So what's the point? Let's get to the main topic.
All right.
Boakai will not sign a letter of nomination. Boakai will not sign a letter and say, I've submitted these names and they signed me.
The document delay was the Minister of State, the acting Minister of State whose signature was on it. Boakai's signature not even on those things. So let's get to the main topic here.
Let's go to the ministers, okay?
Let's talk about the appointments. Today we had 7 persons appointed. Sarah Beslo Yanti, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. J. Alexander Newta, Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Amin Mudad, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Jaso Jala Segbe, Minister of Education, Dr. Louis Koto, Minister of Health, Mr. Double Jara, Commissioner General, Labrador Revenue Authority, and Mr. Ibrahim Kroma, Director, Drug Enforcement Agency. So we have new names, and let me start with you, Mr. Gibson. The previous appointment and these ones, what's your impression so far with the caliber of people Mr. Boakai appointing?
Yeah, so based off the names that I'm seeing, I think this, with the inclusion of the finance minister, this list should have been the first list he should have released. on the first day, honestly, when he made his appointments. I feel like this is a stronger list than the previous one. If he would have included Mr. Kamara on this list, this would have made sense to me in terms of you hitting the ground running and putting all the right people in place. There's a lot of credible names on here, people who have years of experience under their belts in the various areas of expertise. Look at Madam Yanti and how many years she served on the level of international development, working for the UN for 20 plus years. You look at Mr. Modad and what he's done, 20 plus years in public and private sector experience. So you have a lot of people who are coming to the table with a lot of things that makes a government run where you're not worrying or looking over the shoulder to ensure that they're doing the things properly. I think this list makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, of having the technocrats in place to ensure that the needle is being moved in the right direction in terms of leadership at the various levels of the ministries.
Davina, welcome again. How you doing there?
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. It's good that that issue is resolved. Right now, we are on the issue of appointments. Mr. Boakai made additional nominations to the Senate for confirmation. He's taking some baby steps here, you know, informing his government. If you look at the selections so far, if you look at diversity so far, you look at experience and qualification, what will you say is the difference you have with Boakai appointees compared to say we are?
That's a good one. Yeah, you know, I'll start with a list from Monday or Tuesday. I'll be, in all fairness to them, I didn't know probably 2 or 3 people on that list. So I can't say whether it was a good or bad list. I had probably a concern with one person or two. It's not because they were not qualified, but sometimes just the point of just recycling the same faces over and over, sometimes it can be troubling, you know, whether they qualify or not. You know, at this point, people are looking for change, and change, it also means bringing, you know, other people that can do the job. We don't want to see the same group of people. So that was my concern with 2 other, you know, guys that were on the list yesterday. Today's list, quite honestly, I'm well pleased. Everybody, I don't know personally, but I've heard of them and I've followed them. I'm well pleased with the list. I just have some concerns with Mr. Modad, just because he's a businessman. You know, he does a lot of business with the government and private sector and, you know, the different things. And then here he is head of commerce. So that threat or that risk of conflict of interest, even if he remove himself and say, okay, I'm going to step away, I'm going to put somebody there. But who's to say that when they see his voucher come across, they're not going to favor him or treat it with some kind of privilege because it's Mr. Modad's hotel or business. We saw that with the Fonatico file. We're still dealing with it, where he's sitting in a house, but then all the contract, he's advisor to Maritime, advisor to this, to Local, all the big money places, and signing all these deals around. So that's just a concern, not to say he's going to do it, but I think it's worth mentioning with him. Now, the issue with the lady Sarah, she another one I don't know. I'm still asking these questions. I don't know the details about her credentials, whether, you know, I'm hearing different things and I'm not sure. I know she has a wealth of experience, but I'm hearing, you know, what her LinkedIn profile, she embellished it, or, you know, she didn't graduate for Cottington, she put on her resume. I don't know, but I'm hoping that these things are not true, because regardless of what it is, even though she's eligible to do the work, but it brings about credibility issue. They also bring reputational damage, you know, to her if they were true. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's not. But I think overall, I think it's good. It's different from what we saw in the WEA government. The people they are placing are, you know, not only do they have the education, but they have the knowledge, the skills, and the experience to deliver. So for me, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll be watching them, you know, like hawk. If they slip, we will bring them back in the courtroom and we'll judge them. So That's all I have to say.
And Intervena, my favorite subject right now is the issue of asset declaration. Boakai, in my judgment, broke this promise. I'll give you the opportunity to get your take. He announced it to the world, and he failed miserably on it. He violated the code of conduct by not declaring his asset before inauguration. And I know some people don't want to hear me say that. I will repeat it over and over. What's your take?
You know, I did listen to the VOA stuff, and I know you guys been working for probably about 2 weeks now, even before the inauguration. And I wanted to know what the law, said. I think yesterday or the day before, you guys brought the law up. Well, I don't have a lot of information to make an informed decision. I'm left with questions, actually. One, yes, he was supposed to declare his asset, but did he request an extension? Did he declare? But we just don't know. It's limited for me. I have limited information, so I don't know. It's left me with more questions than answers. So I'm hoping that he did. Either one, whether he asked for extension, or he declared, but they're just not talking about it right now. I really don't know. So I quite honestly, I'm begging for
answers. Promise broken or not?
I wouldn't say in a way, because if he asked for extension, it was granted, then there's no violation there. It's like here in America, if your license, you're supposed to renew your license and you ask for a week extension, whatever it is, the police pull you over, they're not going to do nothing to you because you have your extension and you have it documented. So I don't know if that's the case. And so with other things, because you have a valuable proof that you asked for extension and it was granted. So I don't know if that's the case with Mr. Boakai. I will hope he did, because I did listen to the VOA stuff, and if he didn't, that's really on a bad footing. The same thing with his counterpart. What's his name? I don't even know the people.
Jeremiah Cole.
Jeremiah Cole, The same thing. I will hope they will do that, because it's sending, talking about leadership from the top, which Mr. We didn't do for a very long time, and setting that example. That will be, a good example to set, but I don't know. I really don't know. So I'm hoping that somebody can help me on this panel understand whether he asked for extension or he did or did not, because I don't know.
Well, we don't know, but I think he broke his promise. J. Victor Namba, welcome. How you doing?
Hey, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here. Hi, guys.
Yeah, Mr. Namba, let's go to the appointments. You have had time to talk about this broken promise by Mr. Boakai. Right. The names we've seen so far, your impression, maybe before you come in, let me say this. I am impressed, highly impressed with the names. The individuals are qualified. The individuals have experience. So those are good choices in my judgment that Mr. Boakai, has made so far. We just want to see them deliver. We just want them to be about productivity and not just warming the executive chairs. But in terms of the individuals he nominated, I see diversity there as well. His choices are good in my judgment. What say you?
Well, actually, it's difficult for me to offer an opinion because I don't know most of those people. I probably would know. I know Miss Beslo Yanti because she went to Cotton as I did, and Dr. Poto also, younger sister, she also graduated from Cotton as well. But I'm inclined to agree with you that they all seem to be in good company. I think this is what we were talking about last night or so on the other episode, that they needed to roll out the government. And I think they've begun to do that. I'm not quite sure if I agree with you on the balance. I've heard people complain, and I believe these are 9 or 11 appointments now. I believe 5 the other day, and I think 7 today. So I think that's 12. I think there's only 2 females in there. I believe Dr. Poto and Miss Yanti. Are there 3? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's like what one-fourth, I believe, of the. So I'm hoping that attention is paid to that as well. I think I mean that I've seen on TV seems to be a youthful gentleman, so I think they're paying attention to make sure that all the various groups in society, the young people, the experienced people, I don't want to say elderly people, that there is adequate representation across all strata. So I honestly, I'm going to just remain neutral on this, but I think they're doing the right thing by rolling out this government, like I indicated yesterday. I think it's way too slow. Even today, just 7 names. I would have expected a lot more than that. And also, the way they're rolling out the government gives you an idea of where their priorities are. I mean, the foreign minister I believe, should have been one of the first, but that is just coming out on the second day. Commerce minister is just coming out on the second day. We're discussing here what the outgoing government left and what it would mean in terms of its applicability to the current crisis. Do we have enough of our commodities stocked up? I thought the Commerce Ministry would have been more well positioned to help us do that. But 1 day delayed may not be that much of a delay. But I had hoped that today would have had 15, 16, 20 names announced, And I can understand the need to exercise caution. But look, these people got elected since November. All right. So, I just don't understand the level of lack. I mean, they just seem so relaxed when we're in the middle of crisis. This is why they came to rescue us. I said last night, when you're going to rescue, there is an emergency. And so I'm hoping that they will move with the requisite speed that is required, right, to rescue, people from emergency. So I applaud them. I forecasted yesterday that we're going to hear more names, but I hope that we're going to get more names than we got today. But notwithstanding, yes, I think they're on the right track.
Thank you, Alio. This is your favorite subject now. I think you've heard me. I spoke to your satisfaction. I think you are smiling with me right now. But what I want to hear from you now, my good friend, is do these names reflect rescue operation? Do these names, reflect JMB values? Because, some point he said, well, I would choose my vice president, someone who reflects my values, but then he gave her a who would know has been in the waste, means, and finance and channeling money, and that's the man he chose. But I already gave me a good grade, so you must be happy there, my friend. The question is, what the individuals are bringing to the table? Now
Again, these individuals, they understand the agenda of Honorable His Excellency Josiah Boakai's agenda. They know why they're being hired. They've been having consultations, and they know exactly why they're being hired. So what they bring to the table is that of the execution of Ambassador Excellency Joseph Boakai's agenda. Think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia, and not just in that simplistic form, or in a more technical form. Listen, we believe in his judgment. We trust his judgment. Now, we're not going to make this thing about divide and conquer situation, where if we can't put a tribe against a tribe, then we put women against men. Ambassador Joseph Boakai has said his government is open to everyone, but he is going to vet and pick the most qualified that he believes at the time will be able to deliver for him. Whenever ANC gets back to power, they can hire all women if they want. But Ambassador Boakai will hire as many women as possible, but only based on their competence and their qualification. And one thing I must tell you, look, listen, Ambassador Boakai got inaugurated on Monday. He appointed people on Tuesday. He appointed people on Wednesday today. He's going to appoint people tomorrow, Thursday. He's going to appoint on Friday. He's going to appoint on Saturday. He's even going to sign documents on Sunday of nominees. So the work is going on. It just can't happen at the pace in which, you know, oppositions want it.
We can agree on the issue of these individuals being qualified, right? Do you think they being qualified and having experience, whatever that experience, you know, mean, you think it's enough? And is that a good yardstick to say, well, they will deliver and they will rescue the country? Ellen has so much qualified people. I'm not sure Liberia was rescued.
Anthony, we cannot tell what somebody will do. We can only hope that somebody will do what they committed to do. When we supported George, we have pushed George Weah from 2004 all the way until he came to become president. We were convinced 100% that given his orientation, he would have took the country first. We didn't know that George Weah was going to become a, you know, lover boy, a player. We didn't know that. Were you on
steroid or something?
What? Even with Joe Boakai, we know Joe Boakai to be a responsible. We believe that Joe Boakai has what it takes to move this country forward. The rest is with Joe Boakai. So for you to ask me, this person, the yardstick to hire someone that's competent, qualification, and other criteria. And if those criteria are met, it is up to that person to perform their due diligence.
And what happens if one fails to perform to expectation?
Then you're fired. You work every day. You know what happens on your job if you don't perform, Mr. C.
All right. Thank you. Dr. Duke.
Yeah.
You have been around a little more. Do you know some of these individuals, and do you know what they are bringing to the table, sir?
Actually, I know all of them except Dr. Poto.
Okay.
I won't say anything else besides what you said. You said they're good, they qualify, and we know them in the political landscape. They worked, so their first priority would not be to go buy themselves a new car or a new house. And to just, I think everybody talked about the same thing. We have the same issue. They're good people, but we don't know what they're going to do once they get into the office. 3 weeks ago, Nigeria, you're talking about Sierra Leone example of corruption. In Nigeria, the woman in charge of poverty diverted $50 million into her bank account just 3 weeks ago. And she got, she's suspended and not fired. So they're going to take her to court. So you never know. And this is a woman who was running NGOs, for poverty reduction. And then the president took her and made her, put her in charge of poverty. And the first thing she did, she wrote herself 3 checks to only $50 million that she put into her private account. So you never know what somebody would, and this is somebody who was doing that on herself, on herself. Nobody had asked her to start an NGO to reduce poverty. She was doing it. And they say, okay, let's bring her on board. So that gives you an example of, what people do once, you never know once until they get to power. Talking about modal, I think one of the problems we have with commerce in Liberia, we always appointed bureaucrats to run commerce. Commerce is not bureaucrat. You have to know the streets. You do have to know everywhere people put, everything that happens in the trade business. And we always appoint PhDs and this and that, and bureaucrats who sit in the office just signing vouchers and etc. So I think it's good to have a business person. The problem of people declaring their assets or not, going to conflict of interest has nothing to do with who you put there. It has to do with the system you put in place. Because if you have a strong CCPP, you have a strong LRA, and I'm glad Dr. Jala is going there because he was at CPPP. I remember one time somebody tried to force him to say, Madam, if I sign this paper, on top of the letter that I signed to authorize this deal, I'm going to also resign because I have my letter of resignation right here. I'll sit in the office and sign right here and give it and move on. He said, no, we're not going that far. And that's the guy who's going to LRA. So we can trust him. And he's been that way all his life. So It depends on the system you put in place. You can put people on top everywhere, but if you don't have a control mechanism, or like my little brother Anthony C would say, accountability, then it doesn't make any difference. People just fill their pocket, and we see people declaring their assets, and then later on they're a millionaire. Nothing happens. So how do we change that? Justice system. Do you have a strong justice system? So all of this is part, it's not just the person at the top of the ministry. It's the mechanism that the system you put in place as a government entity, accountability. If that's at the base, in that case, yes, we agree with Sia to say that, yeah, Boakai will declare his asset. I'm sure before the government start functioning, I'm sure he will do it. If he doesn't do it, I think you will remind him, and some of us will also remind him. So that's what I have to say.
Brother Sia, I like to push back a little bit on what Dr. Du and even my brother Kamara is saying. I hope we're not mistaking qualification for competence. The two are not the same. You can have a volume of credentials and yet not be competent.
I don't think I made that difference.
Competence.
No, I didn't make that. No, I'm just, before you go on, you say Kamara and Dukle. I didn't make difference. I say I agree with everything everybody said, and okay. I went to something else. So that's not my point.
Okay. Yeah. My second
Dr.
point
Du,
is,
Mr. Namwe, hold on. Dr. Du even went further by saying,
declaration thing, I think is very pivotal to what we are talking about. I hear Dr. Du saying it's immaterial. I really beg to differ. The problem we have in Liberia is not an absence of system. We have a system that we don't allow to work. The system says when you come into government, you have to declare your asset. Why isn't the president doing that? I don't think we should give him a pass and say it's immaterial. No. You come into government.
I never say we should give him a pass. I say he will do it. If he doesn't do it, we remind him.
No, but I hear you saying it is inconsequential. It's not a big deal.
No. Okay, we are all here.
Mr. Namwe is protected, please.
No. I said declaration. No. Let me clarify before you go. A mountain or something I didn't say. I say asset declaration, nepotism, and conflict of interest are all issues that can be handled if you have a strong system in place of accountability. I talk about CPPP, and I talk about LRA, and I gave the name of Jala, who I knew when he worked at CCPP. That's what I said. I'm not saying it's inconsequential. I said, no, you do that, but you don't stop the stealing unless you have a system in place.
So I don't understand what you say. It can be handled because the law is very clear. You declare.
No. It can be handled. I don't use that kind of word. No, I don't.
Anthony, moderate and move the show forward. No, I don't.
If only you people will give each other the time to speak,
exactly,
then we don't have issue here. Exactly. Now we had the floor, and that will do want to.
But he gone by the asset recovery again.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Namwe.
Thank you. Look. This is, I don't think we should make light of this. I believe this is the major gateway through which corruption seeps into the government. If you're coming into government, we reserve the right to know what you're coming with, what your assets are, what your liabilities are. Because the assets you declare to us will make sure your lifestyle matches what you're telling us. You can't come into office and declare $100,000 and all of a sudden you put up a $10 million house. We reserve the right to question you. Now, if you're coming into government and you owe $20 million and you come into a job that will pay you $10,000 per month, obviously you'll be motivated to look elsewhere to meet your bill. So these are very important. And I really think this is a missed opportunity by this president. I don't understand why he did not declare his asset, because he would have set the tune for the rest of his government. So now he didn't do it. The vice president didn't do it. Why and how are we going to demand that from these people that they are appointing? What would be the basis for all demanding that they declare their asset? And I think they should do so. They should do so.
And Aliyu and Dr. Duke are trying to allow us give Mr. Boakai a pass here, and we are trying to help him here to honor his own promise and set a good example so that others will follow. But again, when some people want to support others, that's what they do. Let me show you something.
No, I think that's not fair. No.
I
mean,
think
when the people support somebody. No. That's letting people say, oh, when they support somebody. Do you mean that I don't have intellectual capacity to make discernment about political?
No, you can't respond to everything the guy say.
No, but I have to. You don't say when people support somebody, then we're not partisan discussion. I said he has not done it. We should all remind him if he doesn't do it. Did not say that? What else you want me to say? That I'm giving a pass? You say, oh, I said that
Mr. Boakai is in violation of the law, and you said no, he's not in violation.
Because he's not.
But then go to court. That's why you got a Supreme Court.
All right, let's leave it. Aliyu.
This is the court.
Aliyu. So here is something here. This is money being retrieved in Sierra Leone from corrupt officials. You see the money there? That's the boss of the Anti-Corruption Commission in Sierra Leone. That is why asset declaration is key. It is very, very key. And the president should set the tone. This is a president who made a major donation of $10 million very recently. And now he has started work. Josh Weah was being criticized, me included, with Deso for not declaring an asset before taking office. United Party people said that. And now the very United Party people are here today, and they don't want us to even mention that. Yes.
I'm progressive by nature. Progressive.
And our commissioner, the People's Commissioner, Francis Bedkefala, DSP.
I'm not able to be stuck in one place. Joseph Boakai donated money when he wasn't president. Let us talk about Joseph Boakai being president and moving forward. What Joseph Boakai did in a private time is Joseph Boakai's business. If you refuse to accept that, I have nothing to do with that. But what I can tell you is, this thing you're talking about, assets recovery, that is a very important thing to do. One, you can actually declare your asset and still steal. In order to recover asset, it has nothing to do with how much asset you declare. It just has to do with the fact that those who are in charge of recovering asset go after those who stole the money. It's simple as that. It's not a difficult to do. John Molu have said that it is the easiest thing to do to go after former government officials for money they have stolen. He did not even mention asset declaration. He don't consider that at all. Asset would be declared. It would be declared. But right now, what we are telling you, what you just brought is topic for us to discuss. It's topic for us to discuss.
Aliyu, the low hanging fruit here. So Joseph Boakai is the experienced man. Joseph Boakai is the clean man. All right, he has nothing to hide. Asset declaration is a low-hanging fruit.
Okay, but if that's the topic for the whole night, just let us know. Then
he promised to do it for the whole night. An example that all those.
Okay, I have given you my view. I have given you my view and where I stand, but I think you are bent on convincing me to agree with you, which is not going to happen. So what's the basis?
And I didn't expect that it will happen because you will justify what is wrong.
What I am telling you is we should follow the model of Sierra Leone and begin to recover this stolen money. In fact, we have record since 1950 something of government money being put in foreign banks. We need to go for those money.
It's easier than to go.
We need those money.
Finding the money. The easier one Joseph Boakai could have done with the help of just some of his handlers.
Okay, he didn't do it now. What do you want to do now? He didn't do it. So what do you want to do?
Well, here's the problem with that too. He's violating the law. I don't know whether that matters to you. The president of the Republic.
But I said go to court.
The president of the Republic of Liberia on day one on the job is already in violation of the law.
Go to the Supreme Court.
He's telling us he's going to be a lawless president throughout the presidency. Is that what you're telling me?
You don't want to hear what I'm telling you.
You're telling you to go to court. Someone who's supporting President Weah that we should go to court before we can get the asset that President Weah declared. Mr. Gibson, you get a last word on this one, then we'll go to the next juicy topic here.
In terms of the asset declaration.
The asset declaration.
Asset declaration, yeah.
But he said what he had to say. Why are you coming back on the issue? They got talking about it first. Huh.
As I stated earlier, I think he missed the mark immensely by not, following by the book. If he made a statement on VOA, put a date to when you were going to do it, right? I think that would have led the charge and sent a message to everybody in the country that's in government, that's incoming, that we're here on a different platform. We're trying to rescue. And I think he should have done it differently by declaring on day one, prior to either coming in or day one of the presidency. I think would have sent a clear message to the country.
With that said, we'll take a short break. When we come back, another juicy topic. Unity Party officials have been accused of misappropriating money intended for districts in Liberia to celebrate Joseph Boakai's inauguration. According to front page, Joseph Boakai raised the money and made the total of $365,000 available for all the 73 districts in Liberia to celebrate, 5,000 each. According to the reports, the party had a meeting and they made a decision that $1,000 being taken from there to be used by the party officials to celebrate their own. Was the money actually intended for the party's use or for the citizens in the district? When Boakai had called some of the representatives, said, this money is for the district to celebrate my inauguration. The steering committee took the money and gave it to the party, and the party is butchering the money. Was the money intended for the party anyway? This thing is not looking right. And this is just before they were inaugurated into office. So here's the question. Another opportunity for Joseph Boakai to show that he is a man of integrity. Will he be able to step in and do something here, or is there another opportunity going to be squandered? We will be right back. I'm tough today.
Our
Indeed, God gave us this country. This is why we are here to talk about the issues that matter to the people and that matter to the people of Liberia. So this story here is juicy. Aliyu.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you heard about this story. Focus on Liberia initiated an investigation. Unity Party is saying that they had a meeting as a political institution and made a decision that $1,000 be taken from the 5,000 from each district to be used by the party executives to have their own celebration at their different headquarters. Oh, wow. My first question to you, Aliyu, was the money intended for the party or for the citizens in the 73 districts?
I think the whole thing, first of all, was nonsense. I think that was a big mistake. It didn't make any sense to give most of the districts of Mossorata County $5,000 each, and then give the other counties $10,000 to represent a whole county. I don't know who advised Joseph Boakai on that. It didn't make any sense in the first place. But more importantly, I think an inquiry should be made into this matter. It should be investigated, and people should pay for this money. This money should not only be, we got to set certain things going forward. When people steal money, you just don't take the money back from them. You also have to lock them up. So people must begin to pay, and we must start from now. It didn't make no sense to give $5,000 to a district. Some of those districts have 80,000 human beings. Well, what's $5,000 going to do with 80,000 people? So it just for me, it just didn't make any sense.
Thank you. And Focus on Liberia is reporting here. our preliminary investigation, and let me read it on our website. According to the release from Unity Party, the $1,000 deducted was aimed to enable county leadership, collaborating parties, and auxiliaries to conduct celebrations at their respective county headquarters.
Why didn't you get to see the amount of other counties?
Hold on.
Why didn't you get to see the amount of other counties?
Even though the money was intended for the citizens in the districts, the party is taking $1,000 each for their auxiliaries.
I don't want to politicize it. You want to politicize it. That's not my focus. My focus is something was inappropriately done. I think this is financial malpractice. That's how I see it on a national scale. And I think those who are involved, in fact, the decision, whoever made that decision, if it was Joseph Boakai, he should condemn that decision and he should allude to the fact that he made a mistake. And those who may have squandered some of that money must be brought to face the law. I believe so. I don't care if it was Unity Party or Aqua Party.
First of all, their money was intended for the committee to spend and not the party. How did the money get in the hands of the party?
You ask me that question?
That we have to make sense of this.
I didn't even know that I have my own committee right here in Maryland. I have my own committee right here. We need $5,000 too. No, I think somebody stole the money and it's a criminal. I think it's a criminal issue. Just go ahead and investigate whoever did it. Let them face the law. I mean, period. I mean, the political. You can look at the political ramification. If this is higher up in the party, should we maintain them? And then should they go to court, go to jail, all of that? So it's up to Boakai to make that, and that will probably determine. But I don't think I can tell any more than you know.
And Mr. Nabwe, now the party is saying
I would have given the money, but I would not have given it that way.
Many reports from the party executives now and auxiliaries who receive these funds to submit report to them. My question remains, was the party the appropriate institution here to handle money intended for county, for the districts or citizens in the district to celebrate Boakai's inauguration?
I for once I have to give it to Mr. Kamara because he says I always knock on him here for never speaking, truth or power. But I think this time he's right. I think the whole thing, is really confounding. How very, very minor these things seem, but these are huge mistakes. So the genesis, the beginning of all this is the president invited the entire legislature to his house and bribed them $25,000 to give him a speaker. Later on, we heard it was downgraded to $5,000. But this money was supposed to have been given to the representatives. That was the initial announcement, not the superintendent. So now we are hearing that, in fact, they did not give the money to the representatives as was previously announced, but they gave it to the party machinery. This is the government of Liberia celebrating the inauguration of the president of the Republic of Liberia. Why are they giving the money to United Party functionaries? So I think from the onset, the whole thing was mishandled. From the time the president invited these people to his house to providing this money, $365,000 is a lot of money. What did they expect? They give the money to the party, the party leaders. Party leaders are saying, they had to get paid. Obviously, this is how these things happen. The CPP had a situation like that, $70,000, and it's still being investigated. And I think this is probably going to be one of those things on the United Party. I think the money shouldn't. I agree with Mr. Kamara. The money should not have been channeled through the party machinery. It is government money, and it was intended for a government function. It should have been given to the local government in each of these districts to organize these activities, not the party.
Tavina, this is one of the display of experience by the Unity Party. Money intended for the citizens that should be handled by the local government. The party took it, subtract money from it, and now what is even left for the districts, no account. No one knows who's holding the money.
Well, another misstep by the UP-led government or whatever the party alliance, it's just not good. I mean, first of all, I think I spoke to this a week or two ago about this whole money thing. I didn't like the idea. I felt like they needed to do something small in Monrovia and use the money for health issues or education issues, other problems in the country. The country is bleeding, and then the party takes the money. The party ain't got money. Let me speak like English. Why will you take government money that is not intended for you, and be brave to even dip your hand in it? So is that how you're going to be dipping your hand in the other money, the taxpayer money? Because this is what you're telling us, that you're going to be dipping your hand in the taxpayer money and, using it all kinds of ways. This is just not right. And the citizen is saying, when it got to our district, we only received $20 or we didn't receive this. And some people say even up to date, they haven't even received a penny. That's even more troubling. So what did they do with the money? I mean, too early for us to be hearing these things, from the inauguration. I know you guys I've been working this whole week, but the whole planning of the inauguration, what happened there? What happened before? I mean, it's just been messy. It's just been really messy. It's troubling. It's really troubling. This government is not starting on the right footing, and I'm worried. I'm not worried for myself, but I'm worried for them. That, the problem is just going to get worse. Because it looked like everybody just in charge and everybody doing craziness and madness, and it looks like Mr. Boakai is not aware of his environment, or I can only say that because I don't know him to say, if he know he's gonna stop it, because I don't know. The only thing I can say that maybe he's not aware of what's going on, but that's no excuse, because you need to be aware of your environment. Just how we held Mr. Weir accountable, that he didn't know much of what was going on around here and the people are just doing craziness. It's the same thing. Who approved these people to use the money? Who approved them? It got to be somewhere high up in the party. Did Mr. Boakai approve them? Did Jeremiah who approved them? Did whatever the Tape or whatever the man in Reverend, whatever, I don't even know his name. Who approved these people? Yes. It got to be somewhere high up in the leadership that approved them to use this money the way they use it. You can't just take people taxpayer money and use it anyway, anyhow, especially in the thing party.
Their money should not be in the hand of the party at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we already heard that. We heard all of you that one thing. You will not leave it?
I would not leave it. I would not leave it.
Because we even, what, to tell you the truth, Leo, Adio, you ain't even reach 100 days yet, the problem get plenty. I don't even want to reach out, even 30 days. Where we're going with this? Man, come on, man.
How did money intended for local government to celebrate Boakai's inauguration landed in party officials' hand?
Yeah. I guess we go ahead.
I didn't like that headline on front page Africa about who stole Boakai money. That's not Boakai's money. That's taxpayer money. That's government library money. It's not his money. No.
What the way the story?
I call him to front page to say Boakai raised the money.
He raised the money.
I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to find out. Who brought the money?
Boakai raised the
No, madam. The money is not from the government. This is not money from the government. It's a government. Boakai raised the money, and okay, let's be logical. This is a party celebration. This is a celebration for Unity Party, not for the government. It has nothing to do with the government.
But it wasn't properly communicated.
We debated that on this very show. We debated that on the very show, and the UP handlers were telling us that the $350,000 was a part of the $650,000.
Either way, it was not properly communicated. It wasn't properly communicated.
Dr. Du has the floor, please. Dr. Du, go ahead, sir, please.
No, I'm saying one. I think when I read the story, I didn't talk to anybody from Unity Party about this. When I read the story, they said Boakai raised the money. He raised the money, so that means he raised the money to celebrate his victory.
Mm-hmm.
So who is he celebrating with? People who made him win the elections. His partisans. So therefore the money goes to the partisans, if that's the idea. If George Weah said, okay, we have a transition tomorrow, I'm going to send $5,000 to each county, then the money will go to the superintendent. But this is an election. The guy won the election. He's going to celebrate his inauguration, so he's sharing with his partisans.
Dr.
If he goes to the county and everybody benefit, okay.
Dr. Do?
So
when Boakai had called, that is Boakai to stay on the place. Hold on. Dr. Do, when Boakai had called the representatives, he promised that he would give them the 5,000 for them to take the money to their respective districts, not the political party.
But they did not vote for
celebration. So I'm not sure if you got that part right. That it was for Unity
Party.
I'm
not. You know, are you sure you have that? Where do you get that information from? Because I heard some people said $25,000.
The Mo Ali put out a press release for that.
They put a statement out.
Yeah.
They gave $5,000.
Yeah.
The $5,000 was intended for the districts, not.
That was the press release by Mo, because I saw email from him. He was inviting people to go to the president's house. No, that's what I saw. No, you say no. That's what I saw. But you say there's another one where he said he's going to give $5,000.
When the news broke, that the president had promised $25,000, Mr. Ali came out to correct that and affirmed that the president was going to give $5,000 to each representative to take to their district.
And not for the political party. Mr.
Not for the political party. Yeah.
But definitely, the sources, so definitely the money was coming from Boakai, not from the government.
Well, I have a question though. So am I hearing that all the $365,000 the government did not give Boakai a penny? Because I heard also that the whatever planning committee were working with the government and they were giving money. So are you saying that the government didn't get a penny? All this money was their own money?
No, I'm addressing this money. This money we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about government giving, not giving. I don't know.
Okay. What we are saying, the front page is saying Joseph Boakai raised the money.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Unity Party is yet to come out to say no. Or the office of the president or Team Boakai is yet to come out to say no, Boakai did not raise the money. So what we can hold now is that Boakai as an individual raised the money for his celebration. But when he did so, the money was intended for citizens in the respective districts, not the parties.
But that's not what we heard. We heard that the 300, the 650 that was allocated, part of that was supposed to go in the
and that was said, but again, they have not come clean on that. So I don't want to speak to that. Mr. Gibson, your turn.
As far as the funds go about the misappropriation, I think it takes us back to the whole thing of accountability and transparency when we're talking about how to lead, even if it's on the party level, right? And you have not taken the seat of power. If you have rolled out a plan, first share with the media. So the media is able to now go, if something is done wrong, to say this is what was sent out by UP. What they were supposed to follow, the structure of everything, mechanisms have to be put in place. How the money was supposed to be distributed is supposed to have been documented somewhere, shared with the third estate for them to go ahead and understand and hold these people accountable, put the names attached to these people in there who will be distributing the money in the districts and stuff like that, right? I think that sends a clear message also that President Boakai had no say-so in what was done on his party level. So if you are going to go ahead and start doing things like that, it sends a very strange message that this is how leadership will be done. When you have your ministers who are getting involved in corrupt scandals and things are coming up, what will you say? Oh, I had no say-so in it. I think he should have had some accountability and transparency structures put in place for his party officials, because this is a defining moment. Every little step that they're taking from the inauguration and the mishaps that took place there now to the misappropriation of funds that was meant for the district. What are you trying to send to the Liberian people that is the same old order, especially when you said in your message that the old guard and how things are done are changing? We have to reimagine what government looks like if you're here to rescue Liberia. So how are you rescuing Liberia if you're bringing back the same old scandals that have been taking place time and time again? So it was a mishap. I think, you know, even if it was done.
The other question I have that Ali would now want me to ask is that, where did Boakai get this $365,000 from?
I don't know.
Should we know?
Anyone know why they are not declaring assets?
You're asking Aliyu?
Yes, Aliyu.
Okay, let me tell you this. First of all, first and foremost, if even Joseph Boakai took that money out of his pocket, for me, it is a sign of waste.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? If I must do stuff for people, it must be significantly and be able to impact them. What can $5,000 do to District 6, for example, that got over 80,000 people? So first of all, that was a missed financial judgment. That was a bad financial judgment on his part. Okay. Now, to specifically tell you where he took the money from, now that's a conversation we can have based on Joseph Boakai being around. But what we also must understand here is that we cannot tell whether the money was from the government or whether Joseph Boakai raised this money, because the fact of the matter is there's conflicting information, and this thing has not really been communicated well to the public. So I can't tell you emphatically that Joseph Boakai raised this money in the first place. I don't know that. I don't even want to believe that.
And Ali, the fact that we're not getting clarity, you think it's about time now the office of the president tell us whether or not he actually raised the money or the money came
I don't want the
from
office of the president to tell anything. I want a unity party to tell us something. Because there's no office, there's no official press secretary of the president yet, unless he nominates or appoints one. There's none yet.
I agree with you. The party should step in because they start chopping the money anyway. Mr. Nambe, I don't know whether asset declaration will help to answer this question, because the Unity Party is not giving us the answers.
Yes.
We are demanding.
Mr. Sia, this is where our concern is coming from, right? And let's be honest here. This is not to belittle the president, but this is the president who told us he's broke. He was living on loans. Witherspoon is on record for indicating that he was giving this president $3,000 per month to sustain him, right? So this president got off, he gave 10 million Liberian dollars, and we tried to inquire as to where he got it from. Yeke Koluba, their own supporter, is on record as indicating that this president got the money from Witherspoon. Did he also get this $365,000 from Witherspoon? We don't know. But how does he come in possession of $365,000 from somebody who said, this is why it is important to declare your assets? So we'll know. Because the president was vice president for 12 years, he's supposed to have money.
But man, not poor man. He's never been a poor man.
Ali, one at a time, please. I know this is not your favorite subject, but
yeah. So this is why it is important for our officials, our government functionaries, when you're coming into office, you tell us what you own, what you owe, and then we can compare what you own against what you're putting out there. Because this is very questionable. Did the president raise $365,000 on his own? Did he get it from the budget that the governor of Liberia gave? If the governor of Liberia gave $650,000 and they took that money from it, then that's misappropriation. Because you can't take the government money that's intended for the citizenry and give it to your party exclusively. That's partisan politics. You're not a United Party chairman anymore. You're the president of the Republic of Liberia. So they just continue to raise questions like Donald Trump. Every day is some scandal. Since these people be on the scene, every day is some kind of little funny thing happening. And I don't understand why. These are supposed to be the mature ones, the trained ones, the knowledgeable ones. And yet they continue to make all these rookie mistakes. Thank you,
Mr. Nambe. And so, Tevi, what should be done now? Because this doesn't look good at all. That the party is dipping its hand in money intended for citizens in the district to celebrate and making justification that it was a party decision to take 1,000 from each district so that the party can celebrate. But the president told them that this is not for the party, it's actually for the districts. So if you are a partisan, you live in a district, go to the party, go to the local government and form part of the celebration. But for them to take the money, take possession of it, what should be done now going forward so that this thing can be corrected?
Well, first thing first, whether the party or Mr. Boakai inner circle, somebody need to come out and speak truthfully on this matter. We need to know whether this money was a party money or the money was part of the budget. Because the story we heard last week and week before was that money was a line item in the budget. So that part of it needs to be clear out. This is no secret about it. They need to talk about it. And sometimes when these things come out, it needs to be addressed head on. They take so long to address things, and things just linger, and people got all these, I think maybe, and all of that. They need to come out and speak upon it. Now they're governing. They're not in party anymore. They need to be very quick to speak to these things and address it head on. The next thing there, they need to have an investigation into the matter, regardless of which way, whether it's party money or, taxpayer money. The money was intended for something, and it went south, and it must be investigated. And like I think somebody mentioned, if it was stolen or what happened to the money, whoever hands there caught in the cookie jar, if they gotta go to jail, they go to jail. If they gotta pay for the money, they pay it with penalties and interest. But then that was it would send a loud message to the other people that they're appointing, other people around, and say, Mr. Boakai is serious for business. You do corruption or any kind of fraud, you pay for it. So that's my thought on it.
And I remember the day Mr. Kamara did not come on the show. I'm sure that the money they were enjoying, the United Party.
Let me say this to you, Anthony. Look, we're all saying that Boakai does not have an official press secretary. We understand that, and that's a fact. But the truth of the matter remains is that if this money issue, if the money comes from the government, then that's a government issue. The Unity Party must, in any means necessary, communicate this issue properly and lay this thing to rest. If it is government money, there has to be some kind of restitution. And if it is the party's money, I just think that the party is physically irresponsible. It's just fiscally irresponsible. I can say that.
They cannot remain the same. So because it's party money, what if I in that party, you take my money, I just spend it kind of way?
So what you do when I party money? Justice Ministry again go there to arrest nobody?
No, but that's why you investigate. You punish the person in your party. What about the other people who paying that dues? So that's my dues you misappropriating. So he said, "Well, tell leave it with God as the usual because we all in the same party."
No, but that's not what I'm saying.
Let us conclude on this. Tavina, you gave your take on what should be done. What you think should be done now to put the matter to rest?
No, I just want to say, I think this thing, the noise came up. It came up yesterday, right? And today's the first time it's in the papers.
No, this thing been out here.
No, I don't know. Inauguration was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So when did the story come up?
Even before inauguration, the noise started for the money.
I didn't know. So that's it's a question I'm asking. I said, when did people know? When did it happen?
Yeah, that was before inauguration.
Before the inauguration, then.
So they started that to do when the president tried to lobby the legislature to elect his candidate.
No, your own politics you're talking. Your own, we know your problem.
No, one at a time. Let us conclude on this. We'll go to the callers, please.
I'm talking about the $1,000.
No, Victor, I'm talking about that politics. We know
I'm talking about the $1,000.
The people started complaining days before inauguration that they haven't gotten their money. They started
on the inauguration day, right?
No, before, few days before, they started complaining that inauguration is on Monday. We haven't gotten our money yet. They started, I think, probably a day or two. They started griping about the money. We ain't got our money yet.
Okay. Well, I think the people in Monrovia, I'm sure everybody is listening to this, and I'm sure they'll make the appropriate decision to clarify where the money came from and how it was supposed to be distributed and what went wrong and who's responsible for what is wrong. And I think those things will happen. I think so. I hope so. If they don't happen, we'll talk about it. and then we look at what happened down the road.
And the party officials, you try to reach to them, even text messages, they're not responding. Why?
Well, I heard somebody's going to have a press conference tomorrow.
Yeah. So, Mr. Gibson, what do you think can be done now? Because they put us on accountability. This is the party that is coming to power to rescue us from corruption. And before even they won, their hands in the cookies jar. What can be done?
I think what needs to be done is an investigation first and foremost. Before they even, I think tomorrow will just be one of those things of the pomp and pageantry of trying to have a press conference to quell the overall opposition of what people are saying in the marketplace of ideas and things like that. They will try to have the press conference to make sure and say everything is calm and the information was wrong, just like how they did when that lawmaker came out and said he was promised 25K, and then they said, oh, the 5K was for the inauguration exercise to share with the people. So they're going to come out and say something totally different tomorrow, but there needs to be a true investigation to figure out who was the person that had those funds and how did it end up now where people were able to get 1,000 before the funds were distributed to the districts. So there needs to be an investigation done, and heads need to roll ASAP.
All right. Mr. Number, your final word?
Jimmy Barrow.
No, I think I've said my share on this. I agree with Telvi and even Dr. Dude, Mr. Kamara, Mr. Gibson. I think an investigation needs to happen. There's just too many moving parts to this story, and all of us point in the wrong direction. First of all, the whole thing, the way it was set about, and now look at the end result that we're reaping. Only because it wasn't started right. This is something that shouldn't have even started in the first place. So yes, I agree with everyone. I think an investigation should be conducted, and let's get to the bottom of it. And if it is government money that they send to Unity Party, they should be made to put it back into the government coffers. It wasn't intended for Unity Party people to go and celebrate. This is the government of the Republic of Liberia giving the money for the celebration and inauguration of the president of the Republic of Liberia, not the candidate of the Unity Party. So I think an investigation should be conducted, and let's get to the bottom of it.
Wow. Joseph Boakai, another opportunity to show that you are a man of accountability. Your party officials are making decisions and taking the money you provided for citizens in the respective district to celebrate. Don't be quiet on day one. You came to rescue us. Unity Party came to rescue us, but it's like the party is trying to rescue itself from hunger. The party is trying to rescue itself from
I want to get report to a test method for.
They took the money for themselves, so they're trying to rescue.
But you don't know the story, Anthony. You are a host.
People.
You are a host.
Higher time.
You to ask questions.
Higher time. Please don't
let us talk.
Me.
No, you formulate the questions. Let us talk. We represent the public. You are the forum director. So when you give too much opinion, you influence not only us, but the way we think and the way we want to respond. Because you are calling us partisan and non-partisan.
You understand.
You within the whole thing. Don't editorialize too much. Ask the question and let us talk to it.
Are you
done?
Why
you making editorial every time?
Are you done?
No, I'm not done. When you give me coffee, then
Anthony is an opponent to Joseph Boakai. He's an opposition.
When you give me coffee, then I'll be done.
So this is a party that came to rescue us.
You see again?
The rescue captain provided money to rescue the people to celebrate. Unity Party as a political party is the first to take 1,000 on each of the 25,000. And no accountability whatsoever. And you don't want me to say it because I'm the moderator.
No. I didn't say don't say it. They didn't say Unity Party took the money. They said party leaders took the money.
The party leaders, they are who? They're not Unity Party?
No.
Well, see,
they are running.
It could be one person. No, it could be one person. No.
Their press statement. Their press statement say it was the party decision to.
Okay, man. Is there another topic?
I'm going to inform you people here. It was the party decision. This is their own press statement. It was the party decision to deduct $1,000 to be given to party headquarters and auxiliary for them to celebrate too. So they decided to chop before the people. This is unfortunate, and I'll be the first to not hesitate to say that. Folks in cyberspace, it is time for us to go to our callers. If you want to participate, the number is on the screen. It's also posted in the Facebook and YouTube live feed there, 605-313-6004. Don't forget to enter the code 719403 pound. Then you will be live on Focus on Liberia to participate. We have 2 callers standing by. Let me go to the callers right there. Let me raise the pound. Then you will be live on Focus on Liberia to participate.
I wasn't listening to what I said.
All right. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back because the call has just canceled. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia. From education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia. From education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia. From education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia.
All right, folks, sorry about that. The phone line went off. I have to reconnect it. So we will go down to the phone line here quickly. Let's see who we have ready to roll. The first caller here is Mr. Is that Mr.? Totman, you are live. Your phone number ending in 5514. You are live.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for giving me the time on the show tonight. And I want to come in and give comments for the discussion tonight. You see, let me get down to the issues. You see, it's very unfortunate that we like to say in Nigeria when the shooters don't get pulled to criticize. But the issue of your focus up there. I'm glad that a few people want to comment really posing the issue like this. It's really relevant. So, the first thing here, we saw the fiasco from day one. We saw the fiasco that was program. Right. The office at the time. So, another judicial committee. That entire committee should be here responsible for our big mistake. The committee, the planning committee, it was a big blunder for the entire war. Like crazy. Accountability. I've seen people on this panel tonight were holding the previous government to their feet. They even say today, you got to put it. We got to party these people. It's true, we got to party these people. But now we hear defending the present government right now. We're telling us, oh no, they don't have to declare their hazard right now. Maybe they scoff on the extension. Extension? Are we serious? We were all here criticizing the previous government for corruption and things. That's what he see what happened. They said what when the Christmas was be good, you can look on the eat. President right now, he hasn't taken no decision. We know he's not decided. He don't take decision. He's not a man of decision. He said bad things happen. He said nothing during his campaign. We saw other things that happened. He never said a word. He's not in leadership. He's not going to do anything about what's going on around him. He's not even aware of what's going on. That's what I say. He's not even aware of what is going on around him. These people have to be accountable for what their action. They have to declare it. That's the first thing. Day one, they got to tell us what they have. So we shouldn't be sitting here defending the undefendable. That's a shame. I think people on this panel here talking about, oh yeah, we need to audit the previous government. It's true. Today, you're telling us, oh no, maybe they have an excuse why they're not declaring the actor right now. Or maybe they have an extension.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to the phone line again. We have
was that a phone or his phone?
Flomo Livingstone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you are live. Flomo, go ahead.
People are not clear now. Can't hear them good.
I can't hear nothing, man. The phone is, I don't hear anything.
Mr. Livingstone, Mr. Livingstone, United Party released a statement today. In the statement, they said that it was a party decision to deduct $1,000 from each of the 5,000 so that the party can use it for the party structure to celebrate. They said it was for the party leadership, the auxiliaries, and collaborating parties, people that collaborated with them for them to celebrate. This is true. Unity Party own press conference is out there. So the party is admitting that, yes, they took $1,000 from the 5,000 each. Mm-hmm.
We should focus on what he
And Mr. Livingstone, the party in the press conference also said that those officials who were given the money to ensure that the party celebrate, they should make a report for accountability. That's why we're asking the question, should the party even take a dime from that money that was not intended for them? So the party told that, yeah, they took the money. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm saying, no, those things are pledged today. I don't want people to rush them into give hundreds of people the frankly get money. They were not, you know, so that gives me some time. Even if they report today, they will not take office. From by the president can, you know, the rest. So I'm just trying to say will appoint people based on qualification, not on party line. And would you commend me for that?
All right, thank you so much. You say you're not hearing me and that the phone line is bad. It's very clear at my end. No, I'm not talking to you. Thank you. I'm talking to the panelists. They are saying they're not hearing me.
We don't hear him. We don't hear him.
We hear you. We don't hear the callers.
We don't hear the callers.
Oh, wow. And the phone is on speaker and it's right here. So I really don't know. I'm hearing the callers very loud and clear. And this is strange. This is very, very strange. All right. Let me try another caller here. Caller with phone number ending 8049. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Good evening to all the panelists.
That's better.
Okay, now it's better.
All right. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to go over a couple of things. I think that you all were on the panel there, and our big brother, our editor man, Dr. Digley, was talking when you asked a question regarding the money, and he was saying, how to call it, are you asking me? Yeah, we should be asking you people because you are the supporter of the man. So when you come on the platform, some of you should have some information regarding some of these, things that are unfolding, because that's what you're on the platform for. And then for my brother, Mr. Kamara, he just fluctuating all around because he's saying the same man that was holding George Weah to the fire, the feet to the fire regarding corruption. He just said, and I told him, he said, we've been hearing about the money business. Why can't you leave it? No, my brother, that's not how it's been done. You hold other people to the fire, this is your time, we will hold you to the fire, okay? So it's not, the way you think it is. If this thing had been done, if you were the George Weah, you'd be talking a whole lot of different things. And, you say it was not right. And, it was very clear for Mr. Boakai to have done such a thing like that. And, that just shows full judgment on the party with the experience that, the self-proclaimed experience that we all talk about, or that you people have been talking about. You can't come here to be saying those kind of things like, oh, yeah, we've been hearing about the money business. No. We want accountability. That's what we've been talking about. We put them there. They were elected by the Liberian people. They are here to serve the Liberian people. And party members are taking money. Corruption staff right there. Their head is full right in the city job, trying to do some of those kind of things. My brothers and sisters are begging me. We need to graduate from these kind of things. See a state what it is and call it. And you don't start giving excuses from the beginning that how things will be rampant and turn ugly when you have no control over it. When you see it, say it. Like my brother or Mr. Gibson is there. It's not sugarcoating anything. And my sister that is there, when it's wrong, it's wrong. Like be able to go before our leaders and tell them that this is wrong. What you are doing is wrong. It's not right. That's why we should be able to stand, but not to stand because we like this person, we support them when they say something, and we are saying something different. We all need to be on the same page so that this nation can wake up on Islam. Our leaders will be able to understand. We can stand here and be bashing people, my brothers and sisters. I beg you, man. We need to graduate from this. They have in the past. How do we go forward?
Thank you.
And we step backward. All right.
Thank you.
You all. God bless you.
Thank you. Aliyu knows that we're on Weah's back on the accountability issue. I'm here. He is the one who's changing and dangling around this subject. You have a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, brother answering. Thank you for taking the call. Are you getting it?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah. There are so many scenarios to know where Jojo was actually coming from. But as I learned, more than 200,000 sent to those, the younger, the small, million participants. But those guys have used millions. They don't even know how much have been taken already. But however, You know, people who want to protect Joe Boakai. We've been seeing this thing, saying that Joe Boakai is one of the richest men in the country. Former, you know, what is it, Mr. Brodsky said that Joe Boakai is not a poor man. But like when people are buying into all the tricks, they're buying into that. They allow Labour Party to come to power to treat it like this, and this is going to be worse. That's why some of those people that they are nominated, those people that are appointed. Well, I'm impressed of some of their qualifications, their professional people, but that's not going to change the nature of the party. Joe Boakai have taken a lot of money and they embezzled money. He took all the money in Sierra Leone and other places, but then people will come and be protecting him. And that platform is going to be hot. The court has started the inaugurated Boakai. And we citizens will be coming to attack intellectually, professionally, but those people, try to live outside of just any kind of American. No, it's not like that. Our Americans is based on intellectualism, to use intellectualism to fight a fight. We try to set up things to the life of people is based on intellectualism, not violence. We're not violent people. It's how people try to live us that way. But we are very patient-minded people. We have certain records of being patient, which our time and to solve the records because of peace. We relinquish our rights sometimes in history. We have done these things for the sake of our people.
Thank you.
Your platform will be hard, and the part there and this camera, she's resting strong to engage us because we'll come on our platform, we will engage whosoever that will try to protect the session.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will stop there for now. Thanks. I'm at work. I don't have much to say right now. Thanks for taking the call.
Thank you. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time. From the beginning, I came with fire, and Aliyu and Dr. Dua, they wanted to just walk away, but they said no. You can run from the guy here, that our man here. Our man is trying to give us hard time, but we'll be here, and I can't.
That is not even funny.
I can't thank you both enough, Dr. Dua. You know I'm your Pekin, so
I know.
We'll do that for
you get away with it.
So let us wrap it up. Let me get your closing. You can close on assets. You can close on the apartment.
Let me go first. I won't sleep.
All right, Tevinan, asset declaration, appointment, and this money wahala. Your closing, please. At least a minute.
I mean, asset declaration, I'll talk about it later. Let me talk about the money. Good. The money, already talked about it. Obviously, they have to speak to it sooner than later, and then open an investigation into the matter. We can't stress that enough. On the asset declaration, it's a must-do. Again, I know a couple of your callers mentioned about, one of the callers effectively spoke about the extension. Look, when one caller said we all need to be on the same page, we can't be on the same page because we don't think alike. If we all think alike, we got too many people in the same space. No, I'm an independent thinker. And I speak from a place of strength and a place of knowledge. I don't talk because everybody's saying the same thing. Yes, there is a law that Mr. Boakai is supposed to declare his asset. I get it. Tavina, have limited information. I don't know whether he asked for extension. I don't know whether he did it. And they just haven't, made it public. So I have limited information. And because of that, knowing the country that I live in, that even if I had to file my taxes or my driver license expired, I can call the state office, I can call IRS and ask for the extension, and it will give me 30 days, 90 days, whatever, 100 days, whatever you want to call it. They will give me extension. That's the bottom line. And based on all of that, that's why I'm saying I don't know. I have limited information. So I cannot say he's in violation. On face value, one may argue that he's in violation because what the law say is.
But I thought you said you were not touching asset declaration.
I said I'll make it last. No. So I just can't say, maybe Friday when we come to the debate, then maybe I will have enough information. Maybe by then the project will, say something more. But for now, I can't say he's in violation or not. I cannot. I have limited information. So to the viewers and callers, I'm sorry. I just can't speak like you guys. My integrity is on the line. My profession is on the line. I must speak, with knowledge. And so I'm sorry to feel otherwise, but I can sing the song and everybody here like Kumaya. We're not singing choir here. We're using critical judgment. So Tavina cannot change my reason for saying that there may be an extension. So I hope you understand that. But overall, it was a good show, and looking forward to Friday to continue this.
Friday night debate will be hot.
It will be hot.
Mr. Namwe Aliu, you will get a last word today so you can sing your Kumaya.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. C. Look, I think the rollout of the government through the nominations, I think it's a good thing. But I will repeat. I hope they step up the pace. 12 names over 2 days. What is the essence of this drip drop? We need a government in place to rescue us. That is why this government came into office. So they need to hurry up already. I think time is running out. And why is it we're getting nomination as the only thing that's done for an entire 24 hours? Nomination, that's all that was done today. What else was done today? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And these guys are acting like, we're on vacation. They came in to rescue us. If anything is done, put it on the executive mansion website. If nothing is there, we will assume nothing was done. So the whole of today, 7 names were announced. That's all the government did. That's all. I think this is laughable. I think it is ridiculous. I hope they were arrested soon enough. 2, I think the president and the team's refusal to declare the asset, I think they just opened it themselves. So this is what we're talking about. Where did the president get $365,000 from? Did he own that money in the bank? Maybe he did. But how do we know that? He should have told us through declaring his assets. As long as he didn't, and he told us he was living on loan, and somebody was helping him to get through.
Okay, now.
Now, this person, we are hearing from Yeke Kaluba that this person is angling to be the sole importer of rice in Liberia. This is why he's dishing his money out to this president. We need to know. Is he mortgaging the government? Is he mortgaging, what is the source of this money? I think it is only fair that he tell us, So I think the failure to declare the asset, I think it's a missed opportunity, and I don't know how they are going to correct this because they have already violated the law. The law requires that be done before you take office, and they're already in office. They haven't done that. So, we're wishing this government well, but they continue to make it difficult for us to give them the benefit of the doubt. Every day is some scandal, and I don't understand why. These are supposed to be experienced people, the level-headed people, and they really act like little kids. Okay, so Mr. Kamara, I'm going to leave it there since Aliu is not going to let me to continue. Thank you very much, Mr. C. As always, it's a pleasure, hanging out with you guys. Thank you to the audience as well.
Dr. Doug?
Yes, thank you, everyone, and thanks, colleagues on the panel. I don't have much to say. I think, what do you say? Hurry, bust your trousers or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I say, hey, government, Boakai being inaugurated 2 days ago. We all know he had a very big health crisis. I don't know if you probably think about that trauma that will happen to anyone. We are all human. Everybody's been talking about this guy will die anytime. Position. That was the song. He's going to die. And then it almost happened to him on the stage with the whole world watching. That's a traumatic event moment. And I'm just saying, Boakai would declare his assets. Government members, every person coming to the administration will declare their assets. And I'm sure they'll find out what happened to that money, the $365,000 who took the money and where the money came from. So I thank you, Mr. Gibson, first time meeting you. Nabi, I watched you many times on the show. And before I finish, I would like to express my condolences to the Baibala family. I've known him for a long, long time. We worked together dearly, and he was a good man. So, just say condolences to Junior Bala and the family, and all the progressists.
Thank you, Dr. Blue. I appreciate you being here, putting in your time. We appreciate you a lot. Mr. Gibson?
Yes, thank you all so much for opening the platform to me to share my perspective on, younger perspective on what I think is happening. I really enjoy being a part of conversations like these and adding my voice to the new dispensation of what leadership should look like. So in terms of, I guess, the review of the third day of the administration, I think there's a lot of things that are coming out in terms of scandals and things being done improperly from the inauguration to now, and the list of officials and the slow pace of it. I think we have to remember that this is a rescue mantra that was pushed, right? If the rescue mantra was pushed, the overall cabinet names should have been something that should have been decided during the period that he knew that he won, around November, December, speaking to the fellow alliance members and saying, hey, this is our plan. You all bring a batch of names. Let's review it. Let's sit down. Let's figure out how we can come to a consensus. Of course, everybody will not agree on the same thing, right? But you have to have that mindset of saying there's a consensus building that needs to take place for us to figure out the way forward. So by the time I get in, the fierce urgency of now is more important than ever, because we know within the next couple of months, from what Front Page has reported, there will be a lot of commodities that will now be pretty much retrogressive. There will not be a lot of things on the market. So you have to be able to move at the expediency to make sure that the goals that you've set for yourself, even if it's short-term goals, within that 100 days, people need to know, and they need to know the faces of who they will go ahead and report to when you go to the Senate confirmation and express, this is what the president has mandated me to take care of, and this is my goal. So I think they need to get the ball rolling. The expediency of now is super important, and they must not waste any more time. Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Kamara?
Yeah, I kind of agree. The experience here now is very important, and I agree with that, and I agree with the way he put it. Unlike Victor Nangbe, who has never gotten over the campaign period, that less than 2% thing is still hurting my people, but that's all right. He's gonna get over it. Some people get over things faster. Some people, it takes a while. Look, what I would say to the audience, I see some people in their feelings and some people are so anxious. I understand the anxiety. I know where it's coming from. I know for 6 years you guys have been living and not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring. But what I can tell you this moment is that be a little patient. You have endured for 6 years. It's only been 2 days. 2 days. If you ask the people who are still in the campaign spirit, in the opposition mode, they will tell you the whole thing is bad. At no time did we, during this election process, tell you that Joseph Boakai was going to be Gabriel the angel. At no time that we told you that he was coming on day one with perfection. Every human being have to live and learn. Yes, I see some lapses, but these are expected lapses. In the matter of days, these things will be overcome. We see a bunch of people from different backgrounds, different upbringing, part of a team. The campaign is different from ruling, from leading. Campaigning to be president is different than being president. Now he's president. Whether we know it or not, he has to adjust. If that means it has to take him a week to really get settled in and then put his right foot forward, that's what he's going to do. He's not going to yield to pressure, no amount of pressure. That's why he has not even gone to the executive mansion. He's not going to yield to pressure. He's going to calm down. He's going to relax himself. He's going to get all his medical examinations, and doctors will tell him, yeah, you're ready to fire, and you will see Joseph Boakai fire like a thunderbird. I want to thank you guys so much. Again, Mr. Gibson, thanks for coming. We wish to see you a little more often, but thanks for coming. Anthony said, thank you for having me, man. It was a great show.
Mr. Kamara, did you kick me off, Mr. Kamara?
Why would I kick you out?
I don't know.
Mr. Kamara, thank you, and you know how thankful I am that you are always here to contribute, more so when you defend the Boakai side. I enjoyed that, you know. Well, let's close the show. Martin Luther King said
Don't take a stand. Just close the show. Don't take a stand.
Martin Luther King said two things. He said, every person must stand up and be accountable, but be responsible for the actions. And then Dr. King said again, the time is always right to do the right thing. It was the right time for Boakai to declare his assets, and he didn't. I will leave it at that. The song that closes the broadcast says, "We are all Liberians." And until we see you again, Gibson, we want to see you quite too often, as much as you can, brother.
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate the young perspective, and maybe some of you can take over from the old hands here. Enjoy the song. We'll catch you soon. Bye-bye, folks.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.